Hello everyone, this is my third video where I'm going to review comic books, and this is today. Just came out Wolverine #1, and so it has an editor's note at the beginning. This takes place before X-Men and Uncanny X-Men #1, the two new X-Men comics. So if you're watching this in the future and that's all out and on, if you're reading on Marvel Unlimited or trade paperbacks or anything like that, and you're catching up or just reading this era of 2024 or whatever, if you want to do it chronologically within the story, this is before the X-Men and Uncanny X-Men, and this is right after the fall of Krakoa. And there's a line, Wolverine refers to something Professor X did as what Professor X did. And it's the same thing with all the X-Men books coming out now. It's all right after the fall of Krakoa, which I have a very, I don't know a lot about. I have a very limited knowledge of all that. I'm gonna go back and read it at some point, but somebody wants to just tell me what Professor X did. I have some ideas, but I don't want to be wrong. So just let me know. But I really like this. I really like this comic book. One thing I really liked about it is at the beginning, Wolverine is running around with wolves, and he don't got no clothes on. Which that's not the part that I like, but his hair, the way they drew his hair. Let me give the artist credit. Martin Cocolo. He draws Wolverine's hair very exaggerated, and I like that, because I always think of the way his hair is drawn as being a mutation in itself, kind of a part of his mutation, because nobody's hair really grows like that, and they try to kind of emulate it in the movies, and I like all of the through all those movies, because it's something different every movie. I really like how they were constantly experimenting with it and trying to figure out how it could work in a film. But in the comics, I love it when it's super exaggerated. It's kind of it's goofy if they do that in a movie, but I like it in the comic books. I'm going to talk about some stuff that might be kind of spoilery. I don't really know how much people care about spoilers for new issues of comic books, but I'm just letting you know that I'm going to say some stuff that you might consider a spoiler, just because it's stuff that happens after the first 2 pages. Nightcrawler tracks down Wolverine, and Wolverine's running around with the wolves. He seems kind of maybe a little bit disillusioned. It might not be the right word, but after the fall of Krakoa and all that, Wolverine, he's doing his lone wolf thing, where I don't want to deal with people. I want to go run around in the woods with no clothes on. And Nightcrawler, he shows up and he's like, the people are mad about mutants. We're at like a really bad human mutant relations are at a very it's at a very bad point right now in the X-Men universe, or the Marvel universe. There's even a line in here that I really liked, with these campers who got killed by Cyber. Who he's back. I know I've seen him before in some comic books, and I liked him. He's got like adamantium skin. That's pretty cool. So he kills one of the campers, and so the campers are mad, and they see Wolverine and Nightcrawler, and they're like, "Oh, are you guys superheroes? You guys Avengers? Oh, wait a minute, you're mutants? Screw you, mutants! I hate mutants. I don't hate mutants. I love mutants. I'm a a mutant ally. But these guys in the comic book aren't. And I really like that line where they bring up the Avengers, because it's kind of in the comic books, it's kind of strange. Like, why does everyone love the Avengers, but they hate mutants? And so I like that there's a line that kind of directly, explicitly, like, puts that in your face, that, like, people, because it is kind of, you know, it's ridiculous, right? Like, why do you hate mutants if you love the Avengers and the Fantastic Four or whatever? And I think that when we read stuff like that, and we notice that that's kind of a stupid way of thinking, you know, it's supposed to be, you know, within the world of the X-Men, that is a dumb take. But the logic behind it, I think, is because mutants are not just superheroes. They're not all the X-Men. It's like, if you lived in the Marvel world, you know, you might know a mutant, and he might not be a superhero. He might just be like a guy with too many fingers, or a you know, guy who can, like, levitate or something. You know, just like little stuff like that. And, you know, they're not superheroes. I mean, we saw in Exceptional X-Men, I talked about that one, and Kitty Pryde calling herself Kate Pryde now, which that's been around for a while because she's an adult now. But I think at the end of that, she tells somebody, like, call me Kitty Pryde. So I don't know. I just think Kitty Pryde rolls off the tongue better than Kate Pryde. And Kitty Pryde is what most people think of who if you don't read comic books, and I say Kate Pryde, you might I don't, that might confuse somebody. I don't know. It's not that confusing. Probably doesn't confuse anybody, actually, now that I think about it. But Kitty Pryde's working as a waitress or a bartender or something. And that's one of the things I really liked about that book and comic books in general, is when we see, like, the regular world, the normal world, all the regular non-superhero people. Like, I really like it when they save people. That's my favorite thing for superheroes to do, is to, like, save a person. I think that's awesome. So, and Nightcrawler's in it, I said that. And that's awesome, because I really like Wolverine and Nightcrawler together. You know, they're buddies, they're friends. I like that. Got some blood, some cool violence in there. I'm gonna show you that. I like this page where they're running. It's awesome. And then I'll show you what I mean about the hair. Like, look at this. Look at this panel. That's crazy. Nobody's hair looks like that. That's awesome. And also the same thing with the sideburns, because I mean, you can see here that, like, he has like a little stubble on his lip, but he doesn't have a mustache, and he's not shaving while he's out with this wolf pack. So I like to think of it as though Wolverine's hair and his sideburns and everything, like, that's just how it happens. Because when they do it in the movies, it's like, oh, that's a hairdresser did that. You know, Wolverine, I just feel like, is not the type of guy to be worrying that much about his appearance, and, you know, he's not styling his hair every morning. And in Weapon X, they say, oh, we shaved him, and then he has all this hair, and his hair grows that way, and his hair is, you know, he has the sideburns and everything, the mutton chops. Just a fun thing, you know. But I'm gonna recommend this. I said I was gonna. I might read more Venom War. Might check more of that out because I like the first issue. I actually don't think I'm gonna do that. I actually don't think I'm gonna do that anymore. I did like Venom War, but I just saw how much stuff there is, how many different Venom War series there are, and it's like I kind of, do I want to read Venom War, or do I want to like be able to feed myself and put gas in my car and stuff like that. And I'm following like all the X-Men stuff now. I just added Phoenix and Psylocke, which comes out in November. Psylocke #1 comes out in November. There's so many comic books. They keep writing comic books. And then they gave me a catalog today at the comic book store for free. Look at this. I didn't even have to pay for this. They keep giving me free stuff at the comic book store, like mostly catalog stuff like this, where it's just different comic books. But the other day I went, and it was called Marvel Must Haves, and it was 3 whole issues of a comic book in there. Isn't that crazy? And one I really liked was Avengers Twilight #1 was in there. That was pretty cool. I've been meaning to read the rest of that at some point, because it's all on Marvel Unlimited, which I recommend to get the app Marvel Unlimited. It's $9.99 a month, but you get like everything, even new stuff. It comes out on Marvel Unlimited like 3 months, I think 3 months later. So that's how I've been stopping myself from buying omnibuses and trade paperbacks, because I look at those and they're so excuse my language, but